I got a few PMs. People wanted to see the generator that I built. This is the enclosure that I built for it, and the power panel. And it's got, I added a local remote switch here. When it's in local, you've got local start-stop control right here. But when it's in remote, it'll flip it here, and now we got nothing here. But I've got a little keyless, which is pretty slick. I can start and stop remotely, and that's handy for a lot of times this generator's down on the ground and we've got a cord run up to the roof of a building, and you just want to use a rotohammer or a sawzall or something for a couple of minutes, you know, and you don't want to walk all the way down to turn the generator off. So you can just hook that on your keychain or your belt loop and go to the edge of the building and fire up the generator and just run it for 10 minutes or whatever you need it, and then shut it back down. So there's gas savings involved. And these little Bulldog systems are pretty cool. I think I gave like 80 bucks for it. It's got 4 functions. They're programmable. You can run them, all 4 can either be normally open, normally closed, maintain contact, or momentary contact. And all I did was mimic the this start stop here. When you flip it into local, you know, these are just momentary contacts here. So I just mimicked that and ran that switchgear in parallel. So it's been pretty good. This shroud is shop made, flat free tires, sealed bearings. There's the intake louvers in the back. That's where it pulls in all its fresh air. I put shackle eyes on it so we can, if we need to hoist it up to the roof of a building, we can grab a reach lift and throw some slings on it and send it up to the roof. Or we use that for tying it down in the trailer too when we're towing it. But that's the main air vent there. You can gas it without having to open the shroud, which is nice. And all the exhaust and everything comes. I can even get down that low. Well, I'll get the shroud up and let you see how it exhausts and show you around inside. It's just an Onan. I don't even remember the rating on it, the watts on it, but it came off a dual roof air motorhome, so it's got some grunt. It runs my little 160 Miller no problem, and it'll run the plasma cutter up to like 35 or 40 amp. But let me open up the shroud and I'll show you a little more. And here you are with the shroud up, and you can see the electrical panel stays down with it. And there's an insulated box back here that's got some fiberglass in it, so the exhaust didn't cook the wiring in there. And then that's a distribution panel. I added this receptacle just for welding. It's on a 50 amp. And then these 2 little breakers are for just 110 volt. And then it's got a construction type twist lock. And hour meter, local start stop, and remote and local switch to switch over. But that's just an Onan off my old motorhome. It had dual roof air, and we built the chassis. The chassis actually holds the fuel. You can see there's a valve down there at the lowest point of the actual chassis where it picks up the fuel. And it's got an electric pump, filters before and after the pump, onboard battery. It's got a small charging system that I added to it. There's a view of the rear louvers for the main intake, and it's on a piano hinge there in the back and just tips up out of the way. But it's pretty easy to service. It's not bad, just tips up out of the way. All the exhaust goes, it actually hooks a U-turn. I've got it clamped right there, and it goes down under the unit. Get under there. and back around, hooks a U-turn, comes to the muffler, and then dumps right back out the front. The exhaust actually dumps in right here. There's a turning vane right there so that the discharge air from the generator and the exhaust kind of mix together, and it blows it all out towards the front and keeps it away from the main induction in the back. So it's always got a constant airflow through the generator from back to front. But that, and it's got just wagon type steering, good enough for jerking it around a job site. Flat free tires. It's got some shackles on it so we can rig it and send it up to the roof of the building sometimes if we ever need that. And just a wagon style pull, but it's pretty handy on the job sites. And so that's what I did with my old motorhome generator.